Expo. So, Laura, I'm so glad to have you. It's been days trying to bring you on the show. I understand your work. I understand you're a big woman, but you're also a very humble woman. For you to come on show is so humbling. So, Laura, kindly welcome. Just say something and let our people get to know you better.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Laura Okojie. Sorry, I'm not used to my new name. My name is. Oh my goodness, my name is Laura Banjo. Uh, yes, I love Jesus. For work, I work as a software product manager, and for business, I also run an event management company. I think that the entirety of my life, whether it's in the other spheres of life, whatever it is, I think that the unique thing and the one thing about me that is my identification is that I love Jesus, and it is an absolute honor of my life to walk the path of purpose and to live the life that Jesus has given to me. So that's it about me. Nothing extraordinary, really, but it's just an extraordinary God, you know? So,
Did you just
in me.
say not extraordinary? I think that is extraordinary. I said to have a young lady who loves Jesus, young lady who is beautiful, with all the steez. You know, every time I watch your post on Instagram and your picture, I see the steez. And by the way, I want to say big respect to your husband. If he's watching or if he's going to watch later, good evening, sir. I'm going to be saying a lot of beautiful things about Laura today. Please forgive me. I'm just going to try to be very sincere, nothing attached. Laura is someone that I love so much. I've loved her from afar. I've respected her from afar. I think this is the first time I'm speaking directly with Laura, if I'm right. I don't think we have ever spoke on phone. We've only chatted. So Laura is a beautiful person. So I think that extraordinary. So I do not agree if you say that it's nothing extraordinary. And like I said, it's so uncommon to find a Jesus girl that is also doing very well in the marketplace or in the world, in the secular space. So Laura, I want to ask my first question. Is your dad a pastor, or where did you find Jesus, and why did you get to carry Jesus on your head?
Okay, so when I was younger, this was like one of my most asked questions. And no, my parents are not pastors. My mom's not a pastor. My dad is not a pastor, so I'm not a pastor's kid. For me, finding Jesus was more personal than it was, um, say, genetically passed, because of course nobody can pass salvation into you except you know the Lord. But one thing that I know put me on the journey was that my mom's a Christian, and she's a devoted Christian, and I mean, she raised us, and she raised us in the way of the Lord. So we never miss church or anything. We just would go to church, even if we didn't know what we're doing. We were young, just going to church. You know, they give you a Bible verse, you go to read it at home, you come back to church. And I think that for me, the passion for Jesus was just a thing that I had as young as 5, 6, 7 years old. And when I grew up to a level where I could make decisions with myself, I knew at age 11 that I wanted to know God more. I think I started my Christianity or my journey with the Lord based on a level of curiosity, right? I heard people say Jesus loves you. You know, we used to read John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his begotten son. So like I'm just like what's this God? Who's this God? Where is he from? What does he eat? What makes him angry? So I just started like, I mean, as a child you think about many things. I'm thinking about, oh, why is the water white? You know how kids ask questions. I mean, why is the tree standing? Like just crazy questions. And for me it was a curiosity thing, and that led me to find answers that made me stay my purpose. So I'd say that curiosity got me on the journey, but revelation has kept me on the journey. Right. So, just knowing God was just like the best thing I could ever do, really. Just deciding that, you know what, I want to know this God everybody's talking about, and I want to know what he sounds like. I want to know what he's like as a person. So yeah, that was it. I started at 11. You know, I joined the choir as early, like really early, like adult choir. I was in the choir like really young. You know, I was preaching really young. So it was just a thing. I just knew that God had something special in me, and I knew that I had a responsibility to maximize what God has put on my inside. So that's how the journey started. Grateful for my mom who ensured that, you know, even if she couldn't give us the world, she gave us everything, which meant the world to us, which was Jesus. You know, so yeah.
Great. You said something that I'm going to quote. You said curiosity gets you on the journey, and revelation sustained you. I,
Yeah.
th- I think that's very beautiful. Um, let me talk about my own story. I remember very early in life, I think from age 4, I started living with my grandma, and of course, you know, my grandma was a church woman. We used to go to Anglican, and you know, there are a lot of prophecy about me almost every time. You know, Anglican was not so much of a prophetic church, but then they used to bring prophet once in a while. And I noticed that every time a prophet is in church, they are prophesying about me, and they're saying something like, this one will serve God and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
talking about revelation, what does revelation mean to you? What do you mean by revelation sustain you? I want you to say one or two sentences about that.
Okay, so let me just start this way. I believe that there's some things that no matter how much you tell people about certain things and maybe give them counsel about them, I think that they better adhere when it's experienced by themselves, right? So when I say revelation sustained me, I'm saying that my meeting with Jesus, my encounter with the Lord sustained me. So what that was like to me was that God was showing himself to me as Father, right? So
Was
he was a
partner.
father to me, right? So it was personal to me than hearing my pastor preach on the altar, which was beautiful. But I feel like I was I was 10 steps closer to God than I was before because I knew the Lord. I could talk with him. I could hear him speak. I could, you know, sing to him. So it was more personal on that level. So revelation for me came in the form of knowledge, right? Knowledge is progressive. So as I study my Bible, I'm knowing about a God who created the heaven and the earth, reading about a God who created me. So that journey, all of the journey, reading about Jesus, hearing him speak to me, praying to him, brought me to a place of um reality. It's a level whereby I could not just hear people say, oh, God is good, but I could also attest the fact that God is good. So it was experience for me. Yeah.
Great. I want to quickly ask this. Has there been any time in your life where it looks like you deviate from that life of Jesus? Maybe while you are in the university, because you see, I think it's very challenging for someone to be as beautiful as you are and then be born again,
Mm.
especially in crazy world as we live. You know, I mean, you've been a Christian from young. I can't imagine the challenges. Is it that you've not had any time or anyone to, or any time that you missed your step? Has it been so smooth for you on the journey?
Uh, so has there been a time where I deviated from my journey with the Lord? No. Has there been times where it's been a challenging journey? Yes, because I tell people again that following Jesus is not the cutest thing. Like maybe it's a trend for many people, but like it's the most selfless journey you could ever be on, because that would also mean that God requests of you what you want to do, and he now wants you to do what he wants you to do. So it's a surrendered life, right? So there's never been a time where I deviated from the journey, but there's been times where it's been challenging to stay with God. And I put it in this context in a world, and that's what birthed at the time when I was growing. It birthed. I put together like an event for women, called the Slave Queen Conference every year, because it felt like we had so many men who love the Lord, and they were every day, they were pastors, they were deacons, and I feel like we need more women to. I mean, Christianity and ministry is not a gender biased state, right? Everybody should, be in the ministry of reconciliation. And then I started the Sleeping Brand with that vision in mind. I wanted to see other women burn for Jesus, right? So there's never been a time where I deviated on my journey with the Lord, but there's been times where it's been challenging. Now, by challenging, I mean that you're crazy that wants shift for loving the Lord, right? In school, I was laughed at, I was mocked at. People would be like, "Oh, she's just a Jesus girl," blah blah blah. Like, there's so many things. I also got to certain points where God started to demand from me things that I feel like I wanted for myself, like the career path I wanted to choose, what I wanted to study. Some jobs I wanted to take, and God's like, "No, no, you can't take that. That's not what I want for you." That's why I said that. Um, it is not the easiest yes, but it's the most rewarding yes. And by rewarding, I mean, at this point in my life, I'm at the point where people say things like, "Oh, thank you for saying yes to Jesus," because that propelled me to say yes to Him. And it is so fulfilling to know that, it's been hard, but it's worth it to know that somebody else wanted to love the Lord because I did love the Lord, right? So yeah, it's been rewarding. Not exactly smooth. I think it'd be a lie to tell someone that when you come to Jesus, your life is going to be so smooth. No, even Jesus told us already that there's going to be challenges in the world, right? So and that's because you love me. So I think I had that in mind already, knowing that it's not going to be the easiest journey, but it is the most rewarding journey. So that's what it's been like for me the past few years.
Great. I think I love that mentality. Far long, you already know it's not going to be the easiest journey, but it's been rewarding. I think that's beautiful. I want to know, do you counsel or do you mentor young people? Because I think that is very important. Uh, Young people would be very, very free with someone like you. Especially, I love the coinage of that your program, Slay Coin. Um, I think the first time I saw that, that was also one of the things that got me interested in you. That it was to Slay Coin, the kingdom of God. You know, Shey, is that space for Slay Coin in the kingdom of God? But I wanted to talk about that. What is Slay Queen and how are you mentoring young people?
Okay, so I started sleeping, like I said, with the vision to see other women burn for Jesus. I was so I wasn't really open to a large group of mentorships. I felt like I could do this every year, where I could pour into as many young women as possible, and hopefully that fire is sustained within them by just that one meeting. Um, which we did that for like 4 years. Yeah, that's about 4 years ago. We did that consecutively, and relative to mentorship, yes, I mean, I mentor people closely. I'm very skeptical about mentorship. I know how important mentorship is, especially in our generation today, where people need to be shown the way and to be held, just so they could do things better. I understand the importance of mentorship, but I'm also very careful to ensure that I'm mentoring the right people at the right season. There was a time in my life where I never took a mentee, because at a point I felt like I didn't want to be just a role model. I wanted to be a real model, beyond just what people saw about me online. I wanted to be that person as well on the inside. So I didn't want to live a life where it's a double standard, and I'm on fire out there, and then inside I've not prayed for like 1 week. So I wanted to be that person whose life on the outside was aligning with what I am on the inside, right? Because that would just be a show. I didn't want to live a life of a show. So right now, I'm in a space where I'm mentoring people. I have people I've mentored for the past 7 years of my life, and they're still with me, consistently with me, and I do that very closely. Before the year ends, God and I are working on something to open up a mentorship for as many people as possible. I'm looking to mentor about 500 men and women this year, so that's still in the works. So you're hearing it for the first time on here, and I'm just trusting the Lord that beyond just people wanting affiliation, that what my desire is impact beyond affiliation and a title. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Well, it's good to hear that. And let's slow this down a little bit. I think it's so nice getting to know the spiritual part of Laura. I would also like to know the event planning, event management side of Laura. Funny enough, uh, the first business I started in my life was event management.
Mm.
I plan weddings, I do decorations, event rentals, and I love that. And I think I have passion for it. Even till today, I have passion for aesthetics. I just love things to be beautiful. I love color. I love ambience. So, uh, tell us, what do you do? Tell us a little about your events management. How did you get to start that? How well are you doing that? Because, for me personally, I always love to see balance in our life.
Yeah.
I love to see Chris also doing very well in the marketplace. And like I said, this is one thing that has brought me very close to you, that it looks like this lady is also doing well in the marketplace. So how are you balancing the spiritual side of Laura, the event planning, and your other business?
Okay. So let me start with, so yeah, generally I do, like, I have a 9 to 5 and then I also run a business. And as a person, I'm not exactly a business person. In fact, I didn't start event planning for the money. I started because I was just passionate about it. So I knew if I do this for the next 1 year of my life and I wasn't getting paid, would I keep doing it? I'm like, yeah, of course I keep doing it for free at no cost. So I'm very organized. I'm very, I'm good with operations, organizing, project management. So I'm like, oh, where do I channel this to? And I'm like, okay, I could just put things. So my friends know that, oh, when they need to plug, when they need something, I can get it done. Or just tell Laura I should get it done. So I had a thing for like just having to manage people, manage things, ensuring things are put together. I just like the orderliness. And so I started the Learn Experience, which is my business company, where I plan weddings, birthdays, anything plannable, anything you put in my hand, I will do it seamlessly, which is still like a side thing for me. And then on the other part, for my 9 to 5, I've always been very tech savvy. So I've been very curious about, oh, what's the life out there with being very tech savvy. Just what else can I put my other skills into? Um, so I picked up a job. I currently work as a software product builder with a tech company. And with that, basically, I'm just like, oh, I mean, I like to manage things and put things together. So I took up some courses, got a job, joined the company. I think I was interning for 3 months, and then my boss was like, oh, we like the quality of your work, blah 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 blah. Do you want to extend your contract? And that was it, really. So that's how I started. So, and with especially with being a Christian in a world where um sometimes the world wants to compromise, whether it's your business or your job, whatever it may be. Um, I mean, I've worked with people who say things. Maybe they give you a quotation and say, "Oh, this is the quotation," blah blah blah, and then maybe when it's time to get things done, it's less out there. And I expect that, oh, you should return the money that's left to the person because you're a Christian, but they don't do that, and I'm like, okay, is that how it's done in this place? But for me, I also believe that what I am with work and what I am as a Christian should not be separate, right? So even when let's say, like, I worked with a client who's like one of my biggest clients, right? That I've constantly worked with for the past 2 years, and she had me do something for her with her project, and I gave her a quotation. She sent me the millions, and she's like, okay, let's do this, and then when it was time for me to get these things done, I figured that, oh, I could negotiate better, so I negotiated, and then all of the money from negotiations was leading up to like other millions. So I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's left. I wanted to return it. She's like, oh my goodness, right? So like, integrity is a part of my core values, and I do not move with that. So when I say, oh, this is 10,000 naira, and they say it's 8,000 naira outside, I'm ensuring that your 2K is returned, right? I don't want to be that Christian who wants to compromise even with the little thing. Nobody's watching me. So I do not separate what I am like at work with where I'm as a Christian. Even in my work, I want to be diligent. I want to, do things. Even if it's a company I'm working for, I want to ensure that I'm doing things like it's my company, the sense of ownership. So yeah, there's no much difference really.
You said something that when you wanted to start, you asked yourself, if I don't make profit in 1 year, will I still continue this? And I think that is very, very instructive and inspirational for me. So,
Yeah.
and for people watching this, we need to understand that it should not always be about money. And that is why it's very, very important that you do something that you love to do beyond the money. Now, I want to ask my next question, Laura. What does success mean to you? Because I'm sure that there is no way Laura will not like money. I've seen you, like I said, from afar. I've seen beautiful things about you. And I know that all those beautiful things cost good. So don't even try to patronize me. Don't say you don't like
Of
money.
course,
So what does
of
success mean
course,
to Laura?
of course, I love money. Money is good. I love enjoyment, right? I love to enjoy my life. But I also believe that money is not money. Some things are more important than money, right? For me, success is not, okay. Let me start with um the Christian. I mean, the part of us that's Christian. To me, success is just having to live this life I'm living right now, being content in my journey. As long as I'm progressing, I'm really okay. I don't think that, or when a person blows when they're successful, because we're, as a generation today, we're so quick to um, um, point success to when a person blows. Laura live in the UK, these things, oh, she's successful. But for me, success is that, every single day that I live my life on this earth, someone else is getting impacted. And that's more than enough for me. Like, I'm content in my journey, I'm content in my season. And then on the other part of work, really, even though I love money, I also know that some things are really more important than money, and some things that money would never buy. So yes, I do what I do. I get paid at work, right? At the same time, I mean, someone reached out to me yesterday and said, "Oh, I want to plan my wedding, yada 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 yada." She was asking questions, and it was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not paying you for this." I'm like, "Oh no, it's fine. Whatever you need, just let me know." Really. So it's not really a big deal. If I mean, there are times that I've had to work with someone. I'm like, I don't feel led to get this money from this person. I don't do it. I do it for free, right? So I think that because I've just realized that some things are more valuable to me than money. So money can always come. Money will always come and go, right? So as far as I can eat and and I mean live my life in the little way that I can, then I think that I'm great. I don't think I'm unsuccessful. I think I'm very successful, especially in my journey with the Lord. I'm
Okay, I
content.
think you've told us what success is not to you, but I don't think you've told us what success is to you. What is it that when you achieve it, you think that you are getting close to success? I still want you to probably mention
Um,
one of.
okay, so I think if it's on the other sphere of life, I think that one of my major goals is to be on Forbes list. And what that would be for me, and my dream has always been that if I ever get to, when I get, not if I ever, when I get to be on Forbes and they want to ask what your success journey has been like, or what my journey has been like, I want to be able to clearly say that Jesus was involved. Because you can be skilled, you can have all the networks, but grace does make a difference with you, right? So I think that when I get to that point where I'm on Forbes list though, and where I really wanted to be like years ago, I think that I could hold that as a milestone. But I'm also at the same time, I'm not blind to my other milestones and like the little places I could touch right now, the things I can do right now. I do not exempt that as success, right? They're just all a you know coming together really to make.
Great, great, great. Even though the network is acting a little bit, but I think the network is acting up, but I think I can still hear you. Okay. Um, does Laura has any regrets in life? Any regrets? Anything you want to guide young people, young ladies, young women? Is there any regrets? Is there anything you would have done better, or you think you should do better?
No, I don't have any. I've had painful seasons in my life. I feel like, oh, I should forget this part of my life, but I don't think that God makes any mistakes with any season of our lives. I don't think it's a mistake that there's some phases of my life that I wish that didn't happen. I think that they all just work together for me somehow. So I thought about this question. I was asking my husband like sometime last week. Like I was asking, do you have any regrets? Do I have any regrets? And we just had that conversation very lightly. I don't have any regrets, to be honest. And I think that this is also stemming from a place where I'm in Christ now, and there's nothing I could have done to change the past. Really, what I can do is to ensure the present and the future is better, really. So I don't have any regrets. I love where I am with God. I love where I am in life. I don't think that, oh, because other people are doing this and that and they're this and there and here, maybe, I feel like I'm doing badly. So no, I don't have any regrets. I think I'm doing just fine and I love it here.
I think that's very important. Even that mentality to if we have regrets does not change anything. Okay, Laura, who is Laura's role model? I'm sure there is someone you're looking at and saying, I would love to be like this.
Did you ask if I had a role model?
Yes, who is Laura's role
Oh
model? Your
yeah.
role model.
Yeah, Pastor Emicio Olabi. She's my mentor. She's also a woman that I have looked up to for the past few years and who I have chosen to um, just allow lead me as she's led by God. So yes, that's my role model. She's amazing. She's one of the few people who have inspired me to burn better for Jesus. Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
and there's
beautiful.
and there's my pastor as well, Pastor Shi Olawumi. I think you know him. He's an excellent man, and I've been so inspired by him as young as 13, 14 when I met him. And he's been a part of my journey, really. Just every time I've had to make decisions, I just think about how excellent he's doing and how inspired I am by his wisdom. And I just want to always apply that also as well when I make decisions in my life and when I'm at a crossroad as well. So
Great. I'm glad you mentioned Pastor Shi Allow Me. Pastor Shi Allow Me is someone that I would say was my first mentor.
wow.
A great man. He's a very good man. I always show him some small pepper anyway, but just like you show your papa as well, your father small pepper sometimes, but he remains my mentor, he remains my brother, he remains my pastor. I love him so much. I love him so much. So I'm glad you also mentioned. So if you can change anything in this world, Laura, I'm sorry we have taken so much time. I know there's going to be part two of this conversation. I know there is no way we can cover all we need to cover within the short time you're giving us. But please, I have about three more questions, please. Can I go
Okay,
ahead?
sir. Yes, please go ahead.
All right, thank you. So if Laura can change anything in this world, what will it be?
I think that if I could do anything in this world aside ensuring the entire world loves the Lord, I think it would be that I want people to be kind. There's too many unkindness and too many darkness in the world. Like, can't you just have a kind heart towards humanity? Can't you have compassion? So I think I just want people to be kind, really. That's like the one thing I love to change about the world.
People to be kind. There's too many unkindness in this world. I, I can't agree less. I can't agree less. There's so many kindness in this world. And first we need to start with us. We need to yes, and let people see us and say, okay, I want to be like Laura. I'm sure Laura is a very kind person. I'm also trying to be kind. Okay, on a lighter mood now, do you also enjoy secular songs? I mean, sometimes be
Secular or
careful
worldly?
you
Like
I can ask
secular
you
or
to sing
worldly?
it.
Secular or worldly, because I think there's like two. So to me, it's just like, oh, there's secular song and there's worldly song. I love gospel songs, and Minister Sumi Sola, my husband, Minister Abeya Jungo, are like my favorite worshipers. I listen to them all the time, and if I'm not listening to them, I'm listening to love songs. I love Johnny Drill. I love Sadie Harry. So I just listen to clean songs, really. If on my wedding day, like I had to hire like a Christian DJ because I wanted to like vibe to Afrobeat. I'm so glad that now in our work today we are blessed with young people who are changing the narrative of what music is. We have great Mantakits, Prince Emmanuel. We have these people who just come and they're doing things and you can enjoy God. Even like we have rap, we have Afrobeat. There's everything going on. So yeah.
So the idea behind asking that question is that I'm going to be asking you to sing one secular song that you love. It can just be a verse, can just be a very short, straight line.
Anyone that follows me knows that my favorite song is something about the way you smile. My whole world stands still for a while. I think my future has begun. That's my favorite love song. I love
Who
it.
sang that? I've heard that before.
Chella. Chella. Tchella.
That is secular song or a gospel song?
It's a secular song. It's a love song.
All right, all right. It's beautiful hearing that your beautiful voice. All right, so I'm gonna round up. I'm trying to select my last question. Oh, okay. So, what do you spend most of your time doing? What do you like to do with your spare time? And then after that, I'm going to ask my last question.
I like to sleep and enjoy my
Yes,
life.
that brings me to. I remember there was a day on Facebook that you posted something about yourself, and I commented. I think you shared about 10 things about yourself, and I commented, and I think that was the first time that we get to exchange conversation. And
I
I
love
realized that you have a lot of things in common with me. For instance, you're doing event management. You said you love planning, you love organization and all that. And that's just me. Everybody that knows me know that Victor planning, I'm very good at that. And I remember that day you mentioned a lot of things. You mentioned sleep.
Yeah,
You know,
I love to sleep. I'm not a morning person. I sleep in till for work because I work remotely, so like most of the time, except when I have to go to maybe meet up with my workmates and just work in a cafe or something. But like if I'm not going to work, I'm sleeping till if I have like if it's during the work week, I'm sleeping till like 9:45. My stand up is by 10 o'clock. After stand up, I sleep for a bit, wake up, and then work. At night, I'm sleeping. Like during the weekend, if I have nothing to do, I'm sleeping over.
oh God. I saw a post on Facebook today. Someone said, "Those of you that in bed and sleep immediately, is it that you don't have problem?" So I'm going to ask you, Laura, is it that you don't have problem? Why do you sleep so easily?
Problem no dey finish. And the truth is, I don't even sleep easily because I sleep really late. But if I'm sleeping, I am sleeping. Like nobody, don't wake me up. That's the best way to annoy me. Don't wake me up. Just let me sleep.
Okay, that's so beautiful. And for me, I go through a lot of stress, maybe due to my kind of work and many other things. And sleep is just one thing that God has blessed me with to calm down a little bit. And I think sleep is life. Yes, I think
Agree.
sleep is life. I ask a lot. My children used to abuse me. They said, "Daddy has gone to sleep again." Sometimes it pains me. Sometimes but I just don't mind. I say, "Ile more." I don't even care, you know. So yeah, I think is important. So what is your advice for anyone that wants to be like Laura? What's your advice for them? And I think that's going to be my last question for tonight.
Well, if you're here and you've ever thought I want to be like Laura, newsflash, I don't want you to be like me. Like, please don't be like me. Please be like Jesus. And I say this because we're human beings, and I know that with the position I'm at, where I'm a leader at church, there's a tendency for people to have so much expectations of me, what I should be like, how I should act like. And I tell people that I'm just as human as you are, right? So I don't want people to hold me in such a high. I mean, I could fall tomorrow. Really, God helps every one of us. So I think that when I want my reflection, what I want to be is a reflection of Jesus. When people say things like, I want to be like you, I'm like, no, I want to be like Jesus. Because even me, I'm on a journey where I'm asking the Lord, I want to be like you, Lord. So the entire point of my intimacy with God is to be like God. So if you're thinking, oh, Laura inspires me, awesome. But if you're thinking, I'll be like Laura, newsflash, don't look like me, be like Jesus. But I'd say that the world will never relax for you to catch up. You will not feel like doing some things on some days. You will not feel like praying on many days. You will not feel like loving God on many days. But your feelings will catch up. Love the Lord. Be loud about Jesus. You can have a successful marriage and have a successful life. Ministry. The entire point is that in all that you do have to be the end result of what you're doing. The money, the impact driven. Have your core value not change for anything. That even when no matter how bad things are, you stand for them regardless. For me, honesty, integrity, excellence, these are things I live by every day. So yeah.
Yeah, so good to hear. So good to hear. So good to have you, Laura. So beautiful to have you, Laura. I look forward to us having the part B of this conversation. It's a conversation and it's not really an interview. So regularly we can bring you again to just talk about issues and all that. It's so beautiful to have you. My regard to your husband. Tell him I'm saying thank you for allowing you. I know that you came back from work just a few minutes ago and you're doing this. I want to say thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on this conversation. Continue to be who you are, because it was who you are that attracted someone like me to you and to look for your content. And maybe in more way that you can think of, I've been inspired by your content. And I want you to continue to do well. I pray that you continue to do well. To inspire young people, which is very, very important. We need to inspire people. Once again, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for anything to say. Let's hear it before we go.
Was that a question for me or for those watching?
Yes, maybe you want to say something for those watching. You want to just say anything. It could just be a sentence. You have something to add before we go.
Yeah. My word for you would be enjoy your life. Make the most of every moment. Make the most of every day. You cannot change what has happened in the past, but you can do better what will happen tomorrow. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your journey. Don't compete with anybody. Don't compare your life and your dream with anybody. Just journey with God and be fine with where He takes you to. Enjoy your life again and sleep.
Enjoy your life and have a good sleep. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that out of this conversation, because for me, I think it's very important as much as possible. Enjoy your life and have a good sleep wherever you find yourself. You might not be in the best house that you want to have. You might not be in the best apartment, in the best room, but have a good sleep. Once again, thank you, Laura. God bless you. I look forward to having you some other time. And those of you that joined us, I really appreciate it. So much appreciate it. I appreciate, that you have followed us. I appreciate that you've been inspired. By the time we drop the video, please kindly share the video. Kindly follow at Victor Oyefeso. Kindly follow the Laura Okojie. And see you some other time. Bye for now.
Bye.